right, let me check. 1 second. Goodness, this is so annoying. Come on, YouTube. I'm gonna have to delete all these. Oh, it looks like it's okay. Yeah, but it looked okay last time on here. Wait, give me 1 second. Let me see if I can get this thing to work. Ahora sí. Okay, success at last. It is working. My goodness, I'm sorry. I knew this first time it was gonna be rough. But yeah, now I can see you. Thank you. All good, bro. Thank you. All right. It looks like we finally achieved success. Okay, let me put this off to the side. Man, that was rough. Goodness. Okay. Okay, finally it's working. I guess I'll have to go back and delete all the attempts that failed, because what's the point of leaving like some videos that, I don't know. I'm trying to figure this out. Another thing is, what happens with the thumbnail, right? Because usually I upload a thumbnail. What happens here? I just finish and pick something from the movie strip, or I don't know. I'll figure it out. But at least now it seems to be working. How's the audio? Can you hear me okay? I imagine so. If not, they would have said something. But yeah, so my plan was to do this outside. I was not going to be brewing the coffee, making the cocktail in front of you guys. I was just going to sit outside and we were going to have a chat. That didn't happen because the software, my Canon camera software didn't work with the computer. I couldn't make it work. So I decided to do this setup, and then I could brew the coffee, make the cocktail, all that stuff with you guys. And who knows, maybe that works even better. I think, I know I'm a little bit dark, but I kind of like this, the lighting and stuff. I don't want the overhead lights are too strong. I have some lights off to the side and I should look okay. Let me take a look at what you guys are saying. All right, that they're watching me through the TV. Yeah, my wife is in the other room and she's watching on the TV as well. Shout out goes to Camera Woman. Camera Woman, shout out goes out to you. She never watches my videos, but since I was going to be doing a live tonight, she figured, well, maybe he'll make a fool of himself and I get a good laugh. So, but yeah, shout out goes out to Camera Woman. Okay, so it's a few people. Not everybody has dropped in to say hello, but all right, let's get going. So unfortunately, I couldn't, and I got to be putting on my glasses and taking them off because I can't see a thing. So like even at this distance, I can't see anything. So I might as well just put the phone off to the side and leave it charging there. Because that phone, that's the problem why I upgraded it, because the battery was not lasting very long and I don't want it to die on me. So I'll just put it off to the side. All right, so first let's start by making the cocktail. I am making a Kentucky Mule. If you saw last Friday's video, there's a little cinematic portion where it shows the ingredients and how I put it together. Today I'll do it here in front of you guys. But yeah, last Friday's video has a little cinematic portion that shows that. I also brewed this wonderful coffee. This is from Friedhats. When we went to Amsterdam earlier this year, we visited a coffee shop called Fuku. And at Fuku, I think Fuku and Friedhats is the same people. It's the same company. They sell all of the coffees there. I picked this one up while I was in Amsterdam, and I brought it back, and it turned out wonderful. This is a terrific coffee. I wanted to save, I think I have maybe 2 doses left, maybe. And I wanted to save it for when we finally went live streaming. So we'll be brewing this. And let's make the cocktail. I'm gonna start with the cocktail. I need a drink. Man, it's a little nerve-wracking. It took me like 3 attempts to finally get the video to go horizontal. I don't know why it was complicated, because I picked, well, the first time I didn't know that there was something you could click on, and then it would show a sub-menu that has 3 settings there, and you can flip the phone. You can tell it you want to do horizontal. But the second time I did that, and it still didn't work, so I don't know. Anyway, I had my ice off to the side. This is clear ice. I think you can see that also in the cinematic from last Friday, but from that distance, I don't think you could tell. But this ice takes really long to melt, and it's just wonderful. For using for cocktails is definitely the way to go. So we'll start with putting the ice there, because if not, it'll splash, and I don't want to make a mess tonight. Okay, I need my ginger beer. Okay, that was still off to the side. And then it takes a half, I believe it's a half an ounce. Yeah, a half an ounce of lime juice. I need all these little things I wasn't counting on. I need something to open the bottle. And I should have one here. Yeah. Okay, this also came back with us from Amsterdam. It's one of those little wooden hats. Wooden shoes. Yeah, keep in mind I'm recording this live. There's a likelihood that I could say something that is not what I meant to say, but help me with a little imagination. So let's get going here. I'm gonna go with the Elijah Craig bourbon, small batch. It's already open, so this is the one I'm gonna use. So it's 2 ounces of this. Two ounces of bourbon. Let me put my drink together, and then I'll check to see if you have any comments. One good thing is that I have the microphone clipped onto my shirt, so it goes with me, and I don't have to speak right into the camera. And then it takes 4 ounces of ginger beer, so it ends up being 6 ounces. Plus what the ice is displacing, so basically the cup is pretty full. Okay, we can put this off to the side. The beautiful thing about the live is that I don't have to edit anything. And, that's the tough part about doing YouTube, is all the editing that has to happen. Okay, so we're still missing our little bit of lime juice. Shake it up a little bit. I squeezed this fresh earlier today. I'm gonna need my glasses for this part. Where are my markings? Okay, yes. Yes, I see it there, half, right there. Okay. In a minute, we'll get going with the coffee. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. Depending on how everything sounds and looks and how everything works, moving forward, I'm thinking of creating like a thumbnail. If once I figure the whole thumbnail thing, call it coffee and cocktails and live, and then just give it numbers, and always use like the same thumbnail for when we're doing this kind of setup. And then I'm gonna have a different live thumbnail for when I'm gonna go live earlier, because my plan is sometimes to go live midday, say Fridays, but instead of at 7 or 8 p.m., it will be noon, so lunchtime, and I can stream for an hour, and that way folks that are in different parts of the world, like I know there's a few guys like Jason and Kent, the people that are in another part of the world, like 6 hours ahead by now. It's like maybe 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, something like that, and that is not cool. So I will do some at night and some midday, so that everyone can participate. Okay, now I'm gonna try to garnish this in a way that first I'll put the cherry. We can do a cherry, and let me look at the comments. Maybe somebody wants to know something. Man, I wish I could see, because then I could just have the phone here. Let me see if this works. I would love to meet you one day. California, San Diego is having the specialty coffee show this coming year. So it's going to be in San Diego. There is a small possibility that I might go to that, but it's a small possibility. I'm not sure. But yeah, I mean, if I grew up in California. I grew up in a city called Bell, which is part of LA County. It's about maybe 20 minutes from downtown LA, and I grew up there. All my school years, I was there, and then after high school, we moved to Florida, and I've been here ever since. And kind of like in the same area, around Miami Lakes area most of the time. Okay, so we'll add a cherry. And then something else I want to do for garnish. Let's see. I have a lime here, and I've never used this thing here, but you're supposed to be able to, let's see if I can figure this out. Oh goodness. Okay, I'm supposed to be able to take like a thin strip that people, like bartenders, it's just like baristas, right? Man, I didn't do it right. I got like a tiny little zest. That's not what I want. It'll still add a little bit of, the scent and the flavor to the drink, but this it's supposed to be like come out a little bit thicker. No, I'm not doing it right. I'll have to practice off camera one day. But anyway, it's supposed to give you like a long strip that then people turn it into like little different little art pieces, kind of like latte art for cocktails. But at least I'll get a little bit of the flavor. That's all I need. All right. Now I'm going to give it a taste. Cheers. Man, that's tasty. There is when I look at the phone, I have it in front of me, I can see myself. I can't read what you guys are typing. If I see a new comment, I will be able to see it though. So if somebody wants to say something, I can. Your kitchen is super neat. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. This apartment is not huge, but the kitchen is a bit out of proportion. It's like very big compared to like some of the other rooms. The bathroom is also gigantic for some reason. The rest of the rooms are kind of like, proportional to what you would see in a one-bedroom apartment, in Miami. But the kitchen is beautiful. It's the reason why my wife fell in love with this apartment. First day that we walked in here and they were showing us the apartment. We had different apartments to pick from. They were all in the same range of budget. I know it didn't matter one, the other. But when she walked in here and saw the kitchen, immediately she was like, oh, that's the apartment. And you know, she's the boss, so. All right, so this thing is perfect. It's nice. This is called a Kentucky Mule, and it's another take on a Moscow Mule, which is the famous drink, which you make with vodka. The Kentucky Mule you make with Kentucky bourbon, of course. And I find it to be a little bit more interesting. You know, vodka has like no flavor. It's just like pure alcohol. But bourbon, there are notes in bourbon, just like coffee, bourbon, you know, depending on the bourbon, but there's, you know, a lot of times you'll get like woody notes, like oakiness. You can get some smoky flavors. You can get vanilla, cinnamon. There's a lot of little notes associated with bourbon. And vodka is just like pretty much just straight alcohol. There's like not much flavor. But yeah, this is great. Who knows, the fact that it didn't work out outside in the balcony tonight, although it's a lovely night, it would have been nice. But so be it, right? Because this turned out pretty nicely. Look at how long it took me to figure the whole thing out. Well, at least I got it done. You know, the funny part about it is that next time I go do this, I have an idea, but it's not like I learned all the steps. So I might struggle again. I hope not, but it could happen. Okay, so now that I have my cocktail ready, let's start with the coffee. Oh, wait, man, I forgot I was going to, oh, and I can't anymore. It's too full. Maybe what we'll do, okay, what a fail. I was going to smoke it. I have my little thing to smoke it there and stuff. It's kind of cool. My torch is running out of fuel, but it should still work. I have a little bit left. We'll see. Once I drink a little bit from it, that I can put the smoker on top and it's not going to get wet. Then I'll smoke it. I'll smoke it in a little bit. Hopefully I don't forget. Good. The music. Okay, if you've been watching the videos, you should have told me, where's the music? I have it. Let me start it. We're going to kick things off with Richie, of course. Richie Everett. Richie Everett. Give me a second. Yeah, the music. Man. This live is going to be a disaster. But hey, maybe you guys get a laugh. And for me, that's good enough. I'll be happy with that. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Let me find Richie. Let me find Richie. And you know what? I hope it doesn't get blocked. You know, we've had some problems with Epidemic Sound. Oh, here it is. Okay, here we go. The speaker. Okay. All right, that's on. Here we go. Man, I hadn't noticed. Okay, how does this sound? Can you hear the music off to the side? Is anybody out there? Well, you guys let me know. All right, I'm gonna start by weighing out the coffee and grind it. So let me get the scale. So imagine me, as long as I make my videos, sometimes my videos are over an hour long. Now that I can do streaming and I'm gonna be doing these lives, just imagine, it's gonna be crazy. I'll be on sometimes maybe a couple hours, 2, 3 hours, because I know I don't have to edit anything. And I love talking to you guys, and sharing the moment is super cool and awesome. So yeah, so sometimes I imagine I'm gonna be streaming for a while. Okay, grind size is 60. This coffee, I've gotten the best cups when it brews in about 2.5 minutes, maybe even a little bit less. So I grind it kind of coarse. Oh man, I just opened it and already like the smell, the sweetness, the caramel, the fruitiness is ridiculous. I'm gonna do 12 grams. There it is. 12 grams is just a little bit of coffee. I usually drink double that. Let's put this off to the side back here. Okay. To grind it, I'm gonna leave the mic over by the music so it doesn't blast you with the noise from the grinder. Not that it's like the niche duo is not super loud, but still. It's gonna be nicer listening to Richie. Okay, perfect. 12 grams in, 12 grams out. Forgot I had to start the kettle. Have my origami off to the side. Yeah, I can't believe I forgot the music. Okay, let's wait until the water gets up to temperature. Okay, I see there's a few people on the live, drop in and say hi. Don't be shy. I'm the one taking all the risk here. Anything could happen. My kitchen could catch fire. Let's hope not. We're getting up to temperature. Hopefully these Friday night hangouts can happen, I don't know, maybe once a month. And then eventually, I think all my Friday videos will eventually be live. Some noon, some at night. But yeah, not having to edit is going to be awesome. So I could see myself going live most of the time. And then the Sunday stuff, I'll just keep the same. Oh, something very important. Tomorrow, the vlog channel goes live at 7 a.m. My very first vlog will post tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. Okay, so if you're watching this on the day it came out, tomorrow, Saturday, the first vlog will be live. If you see it afterwards, then, fine, no problem. Check it out. It's like a little delay between what I'm seeing on the screen and what I'm doing. So it's a little bit annoying. I wish that wasn't the case. But it's only like maybe 3 or 4 seconds. Yes, perhaps 3 or 4 seconds. In a second, we're going to have enough space here so we can smoke it. See if how the flavor changes. Yeah, so some of the regulars that watch the videos, they are in completely different sides of the planet. Very inconvenient timing for them. Wow, this thing is really full. I didn't need that much water. I'm only doing 12 grams. So cocktails and coffee. Okay, we got the cup up to temperature. Let's get our 12 grams in here. Man, that smells so good. Friedhats. Who told me about Friedhats? The Sun. I believe it was the Sun. Yeah, it was the Sun. Shout out to the Sun. Good call. Good call on this coffee for sure. All right, so 12 grams in, let's do 185. 185 out. I think that's a 15.5 ratio. 1 to 15.5, I believe. Something like that. I do 30 circle, 30 center. 60 grams. Give it a little shake, make sure everything is well saturated. And in 25 seconds, we'll go again with the second pour. So now we go to 90, circle, and then 120, center. Okay. We're going really fast, so let me give it another little shake. Oof, smells lovely. Both the fragrance and aroma from this coffee are top notch. Okay, and at 1 minute, we're gonna go again. Go to 150, and then finish 185. A little more, there we go, 185.8. By the way, the water temperature was 97. Give it another little swirl. I think it's gonna finish even faster than I thought. I had it written down. I always write down, once I dial in a coffee, I write it down. Okay, that's it. Goodness, wait, no, not yet. No, still a little stream. In this part, I need a little overhead light to kind of see maybe with my glasses, let me see. Yeah, it's still dripping. Now I can see it. It's about to finish, dripping a little bit. Okay, I'm calling it right here. So 2 minutes and 20 seconds exactly, 220. I could have got another 10 seconds, but we'll see how it tastes at 220. All right, here it is. Give it a little stir. Yeah, fantastic aroma. Now there's like a kind of herbal tea quality. Man, that's fantastic. It's perfect. Perfect. I'm gonna let it cool down a little bit. So now we go back and forth between the cocktail and the coffee. You know, I think we can smoke this thing now. Let's do that. Let's do that. You put the coffee right here. You know, how does the phone look right here? Is that annoying? I mean, let me take a look. It's not too bad. It's not ruining the whole thing. And I could see if somebody types something, I will see it come up, and then I'll have to put up my glasses to read it. Get me as strong in the stomach. Okay. Just a heads up, bourbon and coffee together can be a bit strong on the stomach. Man, I have a tough stomach, man. That's one thing I don't have a problem with yet. I mean, but so far, you know, I can eat whatever still. No issues. I'll let you know how it goes, though. If something goes wrong, it's not the first time I do this. It's not my, as they say, this is not my first rodeo. All right. Now I got the woodiness and I smoked some oak. And oh my goodness, the kitchen smells great now. Now you get the little smoke released. That is awesome. And now the drink, actually, you know, the smoke infuses a lot of flavor to it. Not only the flavor, but now when you smell it, the aroma changes as well. Usually, you know, old fashions get smoked. Well, you don't have to, but it's a drink, a cocktail that is commonly smoked. But you can smoke other things and see what happens and play around with it, just like coffee. You know, you try it a bit faster, a bit slower, and see what it does. Perfect. Okay, the only thing I'm missing is the water. I always like to have water. So let me see. I should have another cup here. Okay. All right, and now I have some water. You know, as I always say, I don't want to encourage anyone to drink. If you could get through life by drinking just water, just do that. It's the best thing. Nothing beats water. Most of the time, I mean, everyone, I guess, mainly drinks water, right? But it's kind of a little sad if if you're only going to have water always. I don't know. What do they say? Variety is the spice of life, you know? Yeah, but water's the best thing for sure. All right, you know, I'm blown away by like how many people are on the live stream. I thought I was gonna have, you know, a couple people, but there's a few people here. Hi from New Jersey. Hello, New Jersey. Is it cold? It's 80 degrees here. Well, at night it's been dropping into probably like low 70s. Maybe even high 60s for some nights. And we had already like 2 cold fronts. When we first came back from Scotland, there was a cold front, like the first day we were back. And we enjoyed it. And then since then, we had another cold front come through, and it cooled in Miami. It cooled all the way down to like upper 40s. So pretty cold. But those cold fronts, they only last like 2 days, like 2-3 days, and then it's back to 80. Like most of the time here in the winter time, it's like 80, 70, 78 to 82, something like that on the daytime. And then at night it cools down like by 10 to 15 degrees. So it's quite nice. 80 degrees is pretty comfortable. It's not bad. Yeah, and at night it's just lovely. Oh, Brent. What's going on, buddy? It's Brent from Good Brothers. You the man. I enjoy when you try features, new coffee, brewing them up and guessing at the flavor notes. Yeah, I guess at the tasting notes, I've gotten a lot better. But it's tough. And then people just taste different things. And not only that, but like you might brew the coffee a certain way, and then it's different than a cupping. Usually the tasting notes are the people that come up with the tasting notes, they do it while they're cupping the coffee, and it could be quite different. Cupping and just brewing the coffee, you could get quite different things. It's not gonna be the same. Man, I'm so happy to see Brent. Man, Brent, you're the best. Brent was one of my first subscribers. He's been on the channel since the beginning. Good Brothers. I have nothing but beautiful things to say about Good Brothers. I recently ordered by mistake a coffee. I ordered it ground, and I must have hit the wrong button or something. And he actually noticed and said, "Hey, did you mean to do this?" I'm like, "Oh man, what a mistake." But he still sent me the right stuff, and he let me keep the other one. Brent, you're the best. Cheers to you, buddy. Michigan, right? Michigan. So it's got to be cold. It's got to be cold up there. It's definitely not 80. He says it's in the 40s. That's not too bad, I guess. That's not too bad. Brent, have you ever tried Friedhats? Yeah, that's a good coffee. He's not. He hasn't tried Friedhats. Give it a shot, buddy. Order a little bottle. What do you think about? Your bags are perfect. I'm not sure why they do this format. Why not? But if you're a local to the shop, you can drop this. The idea is to recycle them. And then there's a little hole there on their counter. You just come back and push the bottle through, and and they'll, I guess, wash them and refill them and reuse them, so there's less waste. It's a good idea, And if you take it somewhere like me, I can't recycle it, so it's a little souvenir. Although I have all of your bags, I always keep my packaging. Brent had a Costa Rican coffee. I think it was one of the very first coffees that I tried with a fermentation process. It was a Costa Rican coffee called, it said thermical fermentation. And it's like I imagine it's like what do you call those things? Thermal shot coffees. It was one of the very first ones I ever tried, like processed coffees. And it was my favorite. It's still one of my favorite coffees. I have a bunch of it frozen that I have to revisit that coffee. Still one of my all-time favorite coffees. And it was one of Brent's coffees. It's just wonderful. But it's one of those things, right? It's a natural product. When this hits the market and the different vendors, the different roasters buy the beans, eventually it all gets roasted and sold and people enjoy it, and then that's it. The next year it could be totally different, right? Because it's a natural product. But I'm glad I picked up like 4 bags of that, and then I drank one of them. The rest I froze, and in 100 grams each vacuum sealed pack, and I have a bunch of it frozen. So pretty soon we'll revisit that on the channel. Brent says he loved that one as well. Let me see. I think I'm missing a couple of comments here. Let me scroll down. Oh, I see. People are asking Brent. Oh, Brent. Yeah, that's. I was hoping you would do an advent calendar. I sent Brent. I believe I sent you an email. Oh no, it was on Instagram. On Instagram, and I was like, Brent, are we gonna have an advent calendar? I spoke to Hoon on the live about that, and he was all for it. So, man, you gotta bring that to us. I mean, it doesn't have to be that many coffees. Maybe, I don't know, 6, 7 of them. I don't know, couple, 8 of them. That would be nice. Maybe some special packaging, and for sure I'll order that. Brent says that he got slammed with orders. That's a good thing. That is a good thing, buddy. Awesome. I never been out to your neck of the woods. I mean, I've been to Chicago a couple times. But yeah, I have to make it out to Michigan. Yeah, I have a cousin up there. I want to visit him. So when I go visit my cousin up there, I have to stop in and say hello. Always wanted to see the roastery. Thank you, buddy. Brent says I'm always welcome. So thank you very much. I look forward to it. Can you guys hear the music okay? For me it's perfect. I'm not sure. I imagine when I'm speaking, I'm drowning out the music, but when I'm quiet, I imagine you could hear it. Is the volume okay? Oh, okay, Brent has to go. Thank you for dropping in. It was awesome seeing you. I really appreciate it. I really do. I've been doing this YouTube thing now for a couple years, and the fact that you have kept an eye on me, it really means a lot. It means a lot. Thank you, bud. Have a good night. And a happy holiday season, by the way. Yeah, have a good night, bud. So yeah, let me talk a little bit about what, the story I wanted to tell you guys, and why last week's video, which became the unfinished project, okay? Why did it happen? I feel very fortunate tonight to be here, and I've never had to deal with pain, like physical pain in my life. There's been a couple of moments, I had I had a motorcycle accident once. That was not a lot of fun, but it was no big deal. Nothing big happened except I broke my wrist, but it wasn't a big deal. But it was a bit painful, for a few days, for a couple of days. But, they gave me some medication, and then the medication took care of it, I remember also another pain event that I had was when they pulled my wisdom teeth. That was horrible. That was really bad, man. I did all four at the same time, and it sucked. Let's just say it was bad. So, but they gave me some medication, and I would take these pills, and I would immediately go to sleep, and I slept through the whole thing, the whole event for 3 days, and then it just got better, and I was fine. Those are the only two pain events that I've had in my life. But the video that posted last Friday, okay, the unfinished project, I started recording that months ago. I think the part when I'm talking in the balcony, the 30 minutes, I think that part, maybe 5 months ago. Maybe 5-6 months ago. I don't know. It was a long time ago. I recorded those 30 minutes. And then my idea was to record the cinematic portion that you saw. And again, I'm talking about last Friday's video. So, my idea was to record the cinematic portion on Sunday. So that was Saturday. And on Sunday, I wanted to record the cinematic. That Saturday, so before recording out in the balcony, I went to the gym that Saturday with my wife. We went to the gym, and as we were leaving the apartment, she says, maybe we should take the car because it looks like it's gonna rain. And I was like, nah, it's not gonna rain. It's not gonna rain. So we walked. So when we finished the workout, it was pouring. And we waited in the gym for a while, but it wouldn't stop raining. So I said, I'll just go home, I'll jog or something, and I'll pick up the car and pick you up. So that's what I did. I started walking. And then it started to thunder. Immediately I left the gym. We only lived 4 blocks from the gym. 3 blocks, 3 or 4 blocks. I started walking and it started to thunder. So I ran. I ran really fast. I got to the house. I picked up the car. I picked her up. And we got home and everything was fine. And then at night I recorded the clip out in the balcony. That following week I felt fine. I felt great. But by Thursday, I started to feel some back pain. And the back pain increased, and on Friday, it was worse. Saturday was worse. So it's still not too bad, but it was hurting enough for me to say, you know what, I'm going to make an appointment at the doctor's, and I'm going to go see the doctor on Monday. I went on Monday to the doctor. I had my full checkup because I hadn't been for 3 years. So I did a full entire checkup. Everything turned out perfect. And I told the doctor that, that I had a little bit of back pain, and they gave me some pills. I came home and I started taking the pills. That was on a Monday. And by Friday, I felt a lot better. But what happened was I had an appointment to go see a customer. And as I was taking a shower, something happened and my back went out, and with a lot of pain. I had to, get into bed, and I basically spent 48 hours in a lot of pain. After 48 hours, the first 48 hours were really bad. I could, the pain was so bad that I couldn't sleep. It would wake me up. And I ended up, after 48 hours, I got better, and I kept taking the pills, but they were not taking the pain away. It wasn't working. So when the following weekend came up, I told my wife, you know what, I better go to the emergency room because I gotta take care of this. I didn't work for the whole week, a week missed from work. So I ended up at the emergency room. They changed my medication. They gave me some shots, some injections. And when I started taking the new medication, obviously was a lot stronger than what the other doctor had given me. Because when I first went to see the doctor, I had a little bit of pain. But by the time I went to the hospital, I had a lot of pain. So they changed the medication. And it turns out that I had, I believe, what is called pyramidal syndrome, which is an inflammation that happens along the path of your sciatic nerve. So the sciatic nerve. And then what happens is that the inflammation creates pressure on the nerve, and you get a sciatic event. You get a sciatic pain. So it starts in your back, somewhere in your back, and it runs down your leg. So it could be your left leg, your right leg, both legs, I don't know. In my case, it was just my left leg, and only on the front. Okay, only my quads, like my hamstrings did not hurt. But it was so bad that I couldn't stand. I couldn't, like what I'm doing here, there's no way. Like it felt like when you're doing a set of squats and you get that burning sensation. Just imagine that the burning keeps getting worse and worse, and it doesn't stop. You just can't make it stop. So what happens is that, you get up, like let's say you got to go to the bathroom. You go to the bathroom, by the time that you finish, you're like dying of pain. You crawl back into bed. And then when you're laying down, then it eases the pain. You still have pain, but it's better. And so I had to deal with this thing for 10 days after I came out of the emergency room, another 10 days. And then it went away. So, but yeah, it wasn't a lot of fun. I had never had any kind of sciatic issue. I had had some lower back pain in the past. In the gym, you did something wrong, something happens, and maybe you tweaked your back. So I have had that kind of thing, but never this, man. I had never had this. Like my back didn't even hardly, the back was not the problem. The problem was that burning that you would get on the leg. It was unbearable. It's horrible. But whatever, the medication took care of it. But for a total of about 3 to 4 weeks, I was dealing with this situation. Whether it was better or worse, or getting better or getting worse or whatever, but it was like a total of like a month. So for like a month, I couldn't work on videos. I couldn't edit. I couldn't sit down either. I couldn't sit down. All I could do was lay down. So I couldn't record videos. I couldn't edit. I couldn't do anything. And I fell behind. The project got unfinished. I never went back to record the cinematic and the little clips I needed out in the balcony so I can, watch last week's video. You'll see what happened. And I explained everything there. But yeah, that's what happened. I had this sciatic thing, which really sucked. I had never had to deal with pain. They always give you some medication that takes care of it. But for some reason, even the one they gave me in the emergency room, it didn't take away the pain. It just made it better. But the pain was still there. But one of my cousins is a physical therapist, doctor. And from the beginning, he told me, you should be taking this, this, and this. And that's exactly what they gave me in the emergency room. And he said, you have to just rest and take the medication. Don't do anything else. Just give it time and it's going to go away. And it sure did. So exactly what he told me. So thank you. Shout out goes to my cousin. All right, let's see if anybody has left me any comments. But that's why the project got unfinished. And that's why, just watch last week's video. I explained things there. I think now you can put one and one together. Okay, yeah, I know that pain was not a lot of fun. Hey, there we go. We got Wojtek in the house. Hey, buddy, how you doing? Wojtek, man, he's in Ottawa, in Canada. So how cold is it there? How cold is it there? I'm afraid to ask. You made it, man. I'm glad you made it. For a while I had asked about you. I said, man, I haven't heard from Wojtek. I remember saying it on one of the videos, not that long ago, because I hadn't heard from you for like the longest, but we reconnected recently. And I think I don't remember if I reached out to you on Instagram or what, but we reconnected. People get busy. So I totally understand. I get it. Me trying to make videos and edit and all these kind of things, I don't have a lot of time. So there's a lot of YouTubers that I like to watch and I like to follow. And sometimes I don't even get to catch all the videos because, because everything that I'm doing, right? So everyone gets busy. There's times when we have to work more. Then there's times when we're working less and whatever. So I totally get it, bud. I totally get it. Man, the ice is still in there. Just takes hours to melt. Yeah. The pain event was not a lot of fun, and I had never had to deal with. Even when I broke my arm in the motorcycle accident, there was almost no pain associated with that. It's only like the first couple of days that I had some road rash on my forearms. Like nothing happened on anywhere else. My knees a little bit, and my forearms. But and it wasn't even my fault. But when is it your fault, right? Motorcycle accidents almost always are not the person driving's fault. It's like something that happens out of your control. Sand on the road, some dog that cuts in front of you. In my case, it was at night. I was coming from the gym. I remember I was coming from the gym. Luckily, I had my gym gloves on, and that's why my hands didn't get messed up. So I was coming from the gym, and it was late. It was dark, and it was late. It was probably like 10:30 at night, and there was a bunch of kids playing in the street, in the middle of the street. They were crossing the street, and I was on a curve. And when I look up, they're there, and I locked up the brakes, and so I fell, and well, the rest is history. But luckily, not much happened. I had a helmet on, I had some gear on, and luckily I had gloves on, so it was fine. But even that was not that painful. That the wisdom teeth was worse, if you could believe that. And that's in a controlled environment. You would think that, well, they put you, in my case, they put me to sleep. So they gave me anesthesia and all that. So once that wore off, then it started to be painful, obviously. But they gave me the medication that, it totally knocked me out. And I just had to take it for like 3 days, and then I was fine. But this thing with the sciatic nerve, man, there was no medication. The painkiller, whatever it is they gave me, it just didn't do it. You still have to deal with pain until it goes away. Yeah, it wasn't a lot of fun. How long have we been at this? It's been, well, I think I started right around 8, but I had some problems getting it going. So it's been about an hour. I'm about to finish my coffee. Friedhats, man. I'm not sure if you all have tried Friedhats, but here's the bottle. I've been streaming for a while. Maybe there's somebody new that, this is what I made. It's a Kenyan AA, which Kenya is the origin of the year for me. Some of the best coffees I've had this year have been from Kenya, so I'm calling that. And I've said it already on many other videos that Dax Coco Bongo is my coffee of the year because of its uniqueness. And I know it's a co-ferment, but I'm never gonna forget it. I still have a little bit left. I have a dose left. We gotta revisit that. Man, this is wonderful. It's perfectly balanced. Yeah, it's perfect. I have a little bit of my cocktail left. I don't know if anybody wants to say anything or wants me to talk about anything. You got to make it happen now because we're about to end this thing. Okay, so I have a comment here. If I've ever tried color coffee roasters, color. No, but here in Miami, there's, one of my buddies from Macando's. It's a local coffee roaster. Macando's coffee roaster here in Doral. He was working there, but now he's doing something else. He's in a new shop. But he started his own coffee roasting thing or business, and it's called colores, which is color, but in Spanish. But no, colors, no, I have not tried color. Where are they based on? Where are they at? Ah, in Colorado, sorry. Located in Colorado. Okay, so Color Coffee Roasters. I'll look it up. I'll order a bag just for you, bud. Just for you. One of you guys, Roberto. Shout out goes out to Roberto. Roberto suggested that I try that Italian roaster. What was the name? Gardelli? Wonderful. Wonderful. Very lightly roasted. You know, the stuff that Kent sent me, shout out goes to Kent. That's our buddy in Norway, in Bergen, Norway. Kent sent me some coffees recently. All of them are light roast. I mean, that's how they do it over there. You know, the Nordic style of coffee roasting. They were all wonderful. All the coffees were great, outstanding. But this coffee from Gardelli, I say that it's equally light. I mean, it was just as light, just as wonderful. Very good roaster. Yeah, that's why I said the name here on the live, so later. I don't think I can read the comments anymore. Maybe after we finish the live, you can leave the name in the comments. So I don't, but I mean, that's why I said it. I could just watch the video, but it'd be easier if I don't have to watch the whole video. But Color Coffee Roasters in Colorado. I'll check them out. Man, this is delicious. Ginger beer, lime juice, and bourbon. Fantastic. Garnished with a cherry and a little zest of lime. I gotta learn how to get the long strips so that you can do little. I gotta learn at least one little trick with that. Like people make like little birds and little things. You know, bartending is an art, just like a barista, right? Barista is for coffee, and bartender obviously usually for cocktails and drinks. This is almost gone. This is such a relaxing setup. I see, like the next time, maybe the next time I'll do like an afternoon one, so that some of the folks that are on the other end of the planet, they can be a part of this. And my idea is to go live at noon. So it'll be either noon on Fridays or 7 p.m. This kind of setup on Fridays. And whenever I do the live, there won't be a regular video. It'll just be the live one, right? So yeah, and eventually maybe all the Friday videos will be lives. You're not gonna see another live now. I just wanna mention this. You're not gonna see another live now for at least, I don't know, a couple months, because I have a bunch of videos scheduled after this one already. They're already scheduled on YouTube. So I have to plan for the next one. And then after that, I'm gonna try to keep it more consistent. Now that I kind of, today, man, we struggled. I still have those 2 or 3 videos that I started like sideways and stuff. I gotta see how I deal with that. Oh my God. I don't know how I'm gonna do the thumbnail either. I'll see when I stop it, see what happens. I don't know if it asks me, like, I don't know. I don't know what happens. And I want to mention it one more time. Tomorrow morning at 7 a.m., the very first vlog goes live. So I would really appreciate you guys' help on the vlog channel. You know, give it a like, drop in, leave me a comment. I hope some of you guys come over to that channel. There's gonna be a lot of coffee there too. You'll see in the very first vlog, there's gonna be some coffee stuff happening. And yeah, I mean, I really have put some effort into these vlogs. And if you want to see what happened in Scotland, that's going to be in the vlogs. There's, I believe, going to be like at least like 3 videos, I think, from the Scotland trip. But most of the vlogs are going to revolve around things here around town, around Miami, and just regular life stuff. There'll be some, some stuff from probably me talking about fitness and dieting and things like that, because it's things that I'm into. Maybe talking about music. Of course, coffee stuff is always going to be somewhat in there because it's a big part of my life. All right, so this video's gone on for more than an hour now for sure. I think with that, I'm gonna let you go here. Should we? Yeah, we should play Richie again. Hold on. It's just fitting, man. It's fitting that we we say goodbye while listening to Richie. Hold on. All right, here we go. Richie Everett. From all these, if you haven't heard me say it, I mean, I've said it many times now in the videos, but from all these jazz musicians that are available for me to pick from Epidemic Sound, which is the license that I pay for to be able to use music in my videos, hey, Richie Everett is my favorite. I hope I can find some other really good ones. And they are some other really good ones, but man, this guy's just next level. So with this, I'm gonna leave the mic next to the speaker. Let me see if I have any other last comments. All right. No, I don't have anything else. Thank you so much for being here. Maybe you got a laugh. Maybe at least I left you with a smile. This is a feel-good kind of thing and kind of channel. Just hanging out, and making some coffee, maybe a cocktail, but just hanging out and talking about things that hopefully leave you with a smile at the end. And that's all I ever wanted. Thank you for keeping me company and hanging out with me. I'm gonna put the mic off to the side here and leave it playing there while I walk around and figure out how to stop this thing on the phone. And then I'll figure out my thumbnail. But hopefully moving forward, I'll have this thing more figured out and we're not gonna struggle so much like we did tonight. But thank you so much for hanging in there with me, and making it happen. So, all right. You guys have a good night, okay?